Friends, let's welcome back to my channel, and we'll discuss now the very and most important things in English grammar, that is verbs. So don't skip and be with me to this end of the video. I'm going to cover all types of verbs now. So let's start. So generally, what do we mean by verb? So in basic sense, verb is an action word, and with something like we do, like whatever action we are doing, like run, jump, and or things, writing, all are verbs. So, so definition of verb. So verbs are the most important component of any sentence, and this word talks about the action or the state of any noun or subject. Means verb shows what the subject is doing as well as what is the state or situation of the subject as well. মানে ভার্ব বলছে কোনো সাবজেক্টের কাজ করাটাকে বোঝাচ্ছে, প্লাস তার সিচুয়েশন বা অবস্থানকেও বোঝায়। So now let's go through one example which will complement the verb's definitions. Like, he ran to the store. Here verbs describes the action of the subject. Okay, he ran to the store, and she is a creative person. So here there is no action being done, right? So এখানে কোনো অ্যাকশন নেই, কিন্তু the auxiliary verb it shows the state or of the subject. She is being creative. So she is being creative is telling about the creativity of the person or state or situation of the person. So I hope the definition of verb is now clear. It can be a action as well as the state or situation of the subject. Now let's go through what are the types of verbs we have. So action verbs, we have transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. We have dynamic verbs, stative verbs, linking verbs, regular verbs, irregular verbs, finite verbs, non-finite verbs, and modal verbs. So we'll discuss one by one, and it is going to be very informative and very like interactive session. So be with me. So transitive verbs. So a transitive verb is a verb that requires an object to receive the action. Means the action has to have a definite receipt or object. And one thing we should keep in mind, you can figure out this verb by simply questioning like what the subject is doing or what the subject did what. Example here. Let's check a example to understand that transitive verb. Example is Rose is painting the kitchen walls. Fine. So we know the verb is painting here and subject is Rose. Fine. So if you form a question like what is Rose painting, the answer will be the kitchen walls. So here you have a definite answer of the subject what he is doing. Fine. And the subject has an action has a definite receipt or object. So we can consider these verbs as a transitive verbs. I hope now this is clear to everyone. So going to next. Now intransitive verbs, you can say simply just opposite of a transitive. Like transitive, we know like it has the action has a direct receipt or object, but here the action don't have any direct receipt or object. Example, Rose is painting right now. Fine, but here it is not clear like what Rose painting means. The object is not there for the actions. So if we question like what Rose is painting, we don't have any answer. So this comes under this painting, these actions come under intransitive verbs. Let's take more example like she sleeps too much. So how much? It is not here. He complains frequently. So how frequently? The question's answer is not here. So this action don't have a definite receipt or object. So it is coming under intransitive verbs. Coming to next thing, dynamic verbs. In a simple way to say it, what are dynamic verbs? Dynamic verbs are the simple verbs which must have a beginning and ending, and we can see it or physically feel that. Fine, like it. So it has a definite start when you started the eating and when you are ending the eating. Buy. So other examples like buy, drink, go, type, read, write, listen, speak, watch, say, grow, work, sleep, cook, talk. So all has a definite starting and ending. Fine. And most of the verbs we can see it and we can physically feel also. Another example like she buy new clothes every week. So here whatever she buy every week, so we can physically see it also, even feel it also. So all these verbs we can consider as a dynamic verbs. So again repeating, dynamic verbs has a definite starting, beginning and ending, and we can physically see it and feel it. Coming to stative verbs. Here this actually we cannot physically feel it, but it is the state of mind of the subject, or simply a relation between the subject and the object. First check the example like she prefers strawberry jam. So this is not we can see it physically, or we can just take it as the state of mind of the subject only. So let's simply go through all the other stative verbs like love, hate, like, see, hear, sound, think, mind, recognize, seem, have, prefer, doubt, consist of. All comes under stative verbs only, because all these verbs stating the state of minds of the subject, I think now it is very easy to understand what are stative verbs, correct? Now coming to linking verbs. Like it says the state of the subject, like what it is or how it looks. Example, I am 13 years old. She seems sad today. This place looks like a mess. So, so if you observe here, none of the like if you consider I am 13 years old, so is it a verb? Or she seems sad today, is it a verb? So sad, being sad is not a verb, or it is not saying any actions. So all these examples simply complementing the definition of the linking verbs, like linking verbs do not show any action but rather describe the subject. So it is telling about the more about the subject, like I am 13 years old, she seems sad today. So all things describing more about the subject here, correct? So these are linking verbs. So let's now come to regular verbs. Regular verb is very simple to identify it because it forms its simple past and participle tense by adding ed or d to the base form of the verb. Like here, like is a base form, play is a base form, jump is a base form. So like, liked is the past tense, so it is added created by adding d here. Even pursued participle also same, liked. So play, we added here ed and created the past and past participle, like played. Jump, we added ed and created past and past participle, like jumped and jumped. So it is very easy to understand what is regular verbs. So irregular verbs, it doesn't follow such rules to make the past or past participle forms from the base forms. Though these things we need to simply memorize it. Fine. So there is no definite rule to create the simple past or past participle like V2 or V3 forms, like arise, arose, arisen, awake, awoke, awoken. And third one, be, past is was or were based on the singular or plural, and past is a been. So all things need to memorize, nothing to say here more. So coming to finite verbs, how we can identify it? Three things we can identify a finite verbs, like it has three qualities. One, it has a subject, it has agreement with the subject, and it has a tense, either it is a present tense or past tense. So it always deals with some tense or falls under some tense. So let's go through the definition now. So finite verb is the main verb in the sentence, and it is the root word that drives the rest of the sentence. Almost every verb in English language can be used as finite verbs, having these three qualities I already discussed. So take an example to know, understand, or make it make us more clear on finite verbs. Let's go through some examples. Coming to the examples, like 1, we spent a great amount of time together and we want to do it forever. Don't just sit there idly when you should take the first move. Don't lie when someone asks you a serious question. So if you see this sentence has a subject, it has agreement to the subject, even it all falls under the present tense. So it is having a coming under a tense also. So all are finite verbs. Coming to non-finite verbs. So non-finite verbs mainly different from finite verbs in one section, that is the it doesn't show any tenses. Example like bananas are good to eat. So from this sentence, can you tell which sentence it is? No, right? And this medicine is better to take. So it doesn't show any tense. So it is a non-finite verbs. Coming to modal verbs. So a modal verb is a type of verb that contextually indicates a modality such as likelihood, ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, obligations, necessity, possibility or advice. So here we will be discussing types of modal verbs, because here this session we are only simply introducing all types of verbs and the basic concept of them, so we will not be going deeper in here. So 10 types of modal verbs we have, like can, could, may, might, will, would, must, shall, should, ought to. So these are the 10 modal verbs we have. So I hope on this sessions we get a basic and clear idea about all types of verbs we have with examples. So if you still have some queries, you can watch it again, and if you want to know more, or if you want to give any feedbacks, you can write in the comment sections. And if you are new to my channel, so please subscribe it and hit the bell icon, so you will not miss any post notification from my channel. And it would be great if you share these videos with your friends. So thank you for watching.